Hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much for that illuminating conversation. Let's give another round of applause real quick, folks. Thank you guys so much for that. Um, now that we have an idea of where we are and where we're going, let's have a chat fireside with some of the builders who are really taking us there. So next on the docket, we have a little guy named, not a little guy, that's a little rude. I don't know why I said. We have Seg, okay, this is a little speech thing. I gotta love that name. It's a true crypto name. It's one word. I don't know what it means, kind of like Corval, right? So Seg is our developer relations for Sonic Labs. That means it's his job to ensure that the best builders are coming to Sonic and getting the best support. So he's gonna be chatting with $24, who's the founder of Shadow, which is a breakout success on Sonic, and we're gonna kind of pull apart and see what makes Shadow so successful and if we can replicate that with other builders. So give Seg and 24 a round of applause while we welcome them to the stage. Thank you. I didn't see. I was wondering where you were. Thanks. Hey, kill it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Seg, DevRel from Sonic. I think most of you might have seen some of my stuff on Twitter, and then Shadow,
$24,
Shadow.
yeah.
So Shadow is, as you know, the biggest DEX on Sonic, and they've been trailblazing ever since we began. You've been around since prior to the migration, quite a while. So yeah, today we just wanted to go through Shadow's history, what they're up to, what their future looks like, and yeah, get you keyed into some insights, maybe some alpha. So yeah, why don't you, 24, introduce Shadow for anybody who for some reason doesn't know, but and then we
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's $24. I'm the founder of Shadow Exchange, a concentrated liquidity layer and exchange on Sonic. I've been in crypto for quite some time. I'm actually an OG Spooky Swap airdrop recipient. And I've just been in the space, building, talking. Used to do a podcast with Phantom Alerts. And the other day, now I'm here as a founder on the Sonic network. So,
nice, awesome. So
thank you guys, thank you.
what inspired you to build Shadow? What was there like the first spark that made you want to build it?
Well, I was a user first, and I've always looked at exchanges, and everyone kind of aspires to build something, and they've always looked at. I'm sure everyone fantasizes in their head about what they would do if they were a founder, if they were a builder, and then I saw the opportunity. I didn't like the exchanges that existed on Phantom. We didn't have concentrated liquidity. The UX was pretty bad to the point where I would forget to claim my money that I'm earning on some of the exchanges. I would just let it sit there, but. Yeah, I just saw a need. I saw a need where our users were plentiful, and the products that existed weren't good enough. I felt the UI UX just wasn't up to par with what I expect and what I see on other networks, and that just inspired me to create. And I met with my team and we talked about it, and then boom, Sonic was the obvious choice. It was like the most performant network. It's not transfer circle jerk. It's a legitimate smart contract execution improvement. So. No-brainer for us.
It's good to hear UX-focused build philosophy, because I mean that's really what gets people into a protocol at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how, even if your incentives are really good, your product is really good, like if your UX is shit, it's like people are just not going to want to come and use your system, because it's just going to be very frustrating for them. And I think that's really been a big problem in crypto for a very long time, as you guys know. And so Sonic, because of its speed, allows at the infrastructure layer really good UX potential, but developers and builders have to capitalize on that potential by making their apps leverage that properly. So that's really, really good to hear. I think one thing that I wanted to ask you about, because there's obviously a bunch of DEXs in the space, differentiators would include UX. So I wanted to ask you about specifically, how do you approach your concentrated liquidity differently than other protocols?
Oh, that's a great question. We started from ground up. As I said, we built a new UI for Sonic. As you mentioned earlier, Sonic is quite performant, but if the websites that are on Sonic aren't really fully utilizing it and they have a lot of state bloat, it'll still feel like you're on another network, right? For us, we just started ground up. We look at what users like on CX's order books. People like the horizontal liquidity distribution. The UI is great. You can see the price for the last 7 days overlaid on the liquidity distribution. So you can kind of do a little bit of TA as you're creating the position. But it's beyond just the UI UX. We actually have the best on-chain rewarder in DeFi. I'm sure you guys have seen on Twitter, people talk about Merkle, off-chain, Uniswap, but I hope you guys realize on Sonic, the best on-chain rewarder exists. There's no staking required. You mint the position, and either you're earning emissions or fees. You don't have to stake your position. You don't have to do that extra transaction. And it's all on-chain. It's not anything that's off-chain. When you create the position, you know how much that range is earning. So we're just users, and that's where it started from. I wanted to build something that I was proud to use as a user, so that's where it starts and ends with.
Nice, amazing. That's really, really good to hear. I think one thing that I wanted to cover before the panel closes is what is your experience with VM? Because I know that like a lot of builders have come to me and told me that their VM rewards have covered a bunch of their OpEx, it's allowed them to expand their businesses as, you know, it's an additional recurring revenue stream, which businesses love in the real world in Web 2. And so we're trying, with VM, we're trying to bring that to Web 3 and actually create sustainable businesses in Web 3, which has been, I think, a recurring issue in the past because of all the misaligned incentives. But I wanted to hear your experience with VM and how has it affected your protocol?
It's been a boon. First of all, as an exchange, you want our transactions to be as efficient as possible. We have the latest compiler version with via IR optimization, so we're about 50% faster than typical exchanges, or sorry, not faster, cheaper with gas. But we're still earning about 10,000 Sonic a week, which we provide as vote incentives for our pools. So we give it back to the users. But I like to break down VM in two ways: how you maximize it and how you use it. So for us, we're changing our dynamic fees. We're updating it every second, every 5 seconds to try and allow for our liquidity to be the most productive. That's how we're able to maintain about 60% of the network's volume, 85% of the entire network's fees, simply by being able to spam these dynamic fee updates. And we're always making sure our liquidity is productive. It's productive meaning it's in use, right? It's being swapped into. And that's just the one side. We're also running MEV bots as well, privileged MEV bots, that we can continuously run without fear or need of transaction costs because of VM. And then on the other side is how you use it, right? Again, everyone has access to VM, and there's about 9 to 10 other exchanges as well. And how you utilize it is the most important. So we just throw it back into the system. It's like an additional flywheel for us. We were so inspired by fee monetization that we kind of pioneered our own system where in the future, once there's meme coin launchers, launch pads, stuff like pump fund forks, where we actually give them a percentage of the fees that they create. And this is automatic. They're privileged launchers. We whitelist them, and we can utilize it as creator fees or LP rewards, lottery. But we saw how well like fee monetization worked for us. So we felt like we wanted to do the same for projects and meme coins that build on Shadow.
Amazing. That's real innovation right there. They see something, they capitalize on it, and they build their own thing. Like this is exciting stuff. I wanted to ask as well, what would you give, like, because you're one of the biggest protocols on Sonic right now, and there's a lot of builders in the room right now. What would you, in terms of advice, what would you give to a DeFi builder? Like, what's one key thing potentially that they need to get right that you learned the hard way, or just general advice you'd have?
Don't wait for market timing. Just go. If you ever have an idea, just build it. Don't. A lot of people get stuck in the rut of like, you know, I need a raise, I need to do this. If you have the time, treat it like a hobby. And once you get a working product, I think that's the most important thing, a product that generates revenue. That's kind of when you can start to kind of build from that. But a lot of people get in that rut where they're just kind of stuck on the fence. Just go out there, launch your product, get it on Sonic, talk to the Sonic guys, and just really move. You can't really be stagnant. Shadow really started off as just an idea, and if we kind of were waiting for market timing and this and that, we wouldn't be in the position we are. We just got it out there, let people know our ideas, and then from there built it.
Yeah, there's on that point, like a few entrepreneurs I know are more analytical. Other ones are more sales-oriented and sort of go-getter type of people. And I feel like you can get stuck in analysis paralysis when you're trying to make your product absolutely perfect before you launch. And obviously now with AI, you're able to accelerate your development progress quite significantly as well. So echoing what 24 is saying, you should not wait for perfection in terms of timing, in terms of product. It needs to be good enough to go, and then you need to go with it, and then just iterate. I think that's really the key takeaway there. I also wanted to ask you, other than the things you mentioned, what is I guess the next evolution for Shadow? Because I know that generally DEXs are, you would think that a DEX is a close and shut sort of system. It's like, okay, you allow for trades, but there's actually a feature-rich ecosystem that you can build around a DEX, and some of the things that 24 mentioned are part of something like that. So what would you say are the next things that are upcoming for Shadow? What are things that you're thinking about? Maybe you haven't even begun implementing yet. What intrigues you in terms of where you can expand the Shadow ecosystem?
Oh, quite a bit. I brought up token launch pads.
Right.
To be quite frank, I haven't really been the most content with our, token launchers, meme coin launchers. So we decided as a team that we would create something ourselves, because, like I mentioned, the fee share thing that I brought up, where we provide 20 to 30% of the fees back to meme coin projects, it's not being utilized. We audited it all the way in December, and it's already May. So we decided as a team that we would create our own launchpad and allow users to go on Shadow, do everything. But the goal is for you to never leave Shadow. Right now, we just added dbridge to our UI. If you guys have time, check our site. We just pushed the new UI update. And we're just trying to get more use cases for X33 as well. But there's quite a bit coming in terms of development. But I'd say just really make our site a one-stop shop, as well as add a lot more use cases and external, traditional DeFi markets. I think we're working on a Euler market for X33. Pendle just dropped yesterday. Silo's doing a market for the Pendle market. So just really building on the use case. We're kind of looking at it as a black box. Like if you look at it at a high level, X33 is just a liquid staking token, right? And it's earning an average of over 100% APR. And if you look at it that way, there's quite a lot of different cool systems you can build on top, different layers of yield and obfuscation. I'm saying that horribly, but essentially just building out and fleshing out the use cases and all the cool speculative stuff as well. But we're always updating our website. We're always adding things. We'll never take a break.
I think one thing that 24 said that I think is really important for any builders to keep in mind is that oftentimes you have your contracts and you have your front end, and people interact with your front end with your contracts. What he mentioned was they're thinking of integrating external contracts into their front end. What's really interesting about that is that you think about the blockchain, right? You have all these contracts that are living on chain that can be interfaced with in any way that you can imagine. So if you have a front end for your protocol, but your protocol can be enhanced by allowing users to interoperate with other protocols like bridges, and you integrate their contracts into your front end and make it a one-stop shop, as he said, you get more attentive users, you get users that are using your site more, your platform more. And there's these things you can do that may be slightly out of the box, maybe something that you may not have thought about. And I think that this consolidation of all of the chain's functionality into your own front end is a cool thing. Because like in Web 2, if you don't have like an exposed API or a widget from a third party, you can't often integrate their services into your platform unless they allow you to. Because Web3 is permissionless, the contracts are able to be interacted with on-chain via just programmatic methods. You can integrate them by yourself into your own front end and make your front end even more feature-rich as a result of other people's work. And obviously, they get rewarded for it through FEM and whatever fees they charge. So I think it's fair, but it also allows you to permissionlessly use other people's work to enhance your own project. So I think that's something.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll add to that. So bridge is pretty low-hanging fruit. Most exchanges have that, but we want to include the site. We have an X33 page that just dropped where we're treating it as an LSD. You see the stats, but we'll have a tab for lending. You'll be able to access the silo market. You'll be able to access the Euler market, any other markets, maybe the Pendulum market as well. Just make it a lot easier for users to have access to these things, and where they don't have to go to different websites. And even the token launcher will be within our website. And if there really is another, nice meme coin launch pad, we'll definitely integrate that into our website as well. We actually have an advanced trading mode where we kind of spread out the charts, but what I hope for that is to have options built in there, leverage built in there, especially for liquidity. So there's a lot coming. We're really working with teams to kind of just keep adding to the stack. And as he mentioned, iterative matters, right? You want to have an MVP, get it out there. Don't sit on your hands too long. And you always have the time to add to it and improve to it, because no product's ever finished, ever, right? You just got to keep building your business.
100%. Yeah. Get out there fast and build really good UX. I mean, everything we're talking about really revolves around good UX, and UX is the focus of the Sonic chain. So builders, you play your part, and the Sonic Labs team will play their part in terms of building the infrastructure for it. Okay, last question. I just wanted to ask you about community. So I know that there's been, chains are networks. Networks are sort of communities inherently. But from a DApp perspective, how has the community impacted your growth, and how has the community grown with you? What community initiatives do you guys have, or adjacent even NFT stuff that you're doing, or if you can speak to the community.
Yeah, we actually have a lot of plans for community engagement. We actually reserved some of our supply for this as well. But one of the things we did initially was an airdrop to previous Phantom NFTs, or NFTs in general. And that was massive for us to get users to begin with and connect with the community, connect with languages that we normally wouldn't be able to, especially the APAC region. When we did an airdrop to the Derp collection, that was massive for us to get users from all parts of the world, because art is universal. You don't really have to speak every person's language. So that was awesome, and that helped us grow our community. And Sonic has a great community base. I'm sure you can see on other networks, it's quite dry. There's not much to it. There's not enough builders. And builders is also part of the community as well. So I think Sonic's done a great job of getting real tangible users. And us doing the airdrop to people that appreciate art just helped us get off the ground running pretty well. And obviously, we did give quite a bit of tokens out. So everyone was happy in that regard for sure.
Awesome. That's so good to hear. Okay, cool. We're just about at time. I just wanted to mention just a couple things before we wrap up. Currently, there's a hackathon going on at the summit. It's jailbreak.soniclabs.com. You're able to use, try to break the AI system. So definitely go there, try it out. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention was we actually have some AI tools that are coming for developers, including Shadow, including every developer on Sonic will be able to leverage these AI tools that will allow you to, if you think of a cursor-like experience, it'll allow you to build smart contracts and audit, sort of soft audit, not hard audit, but your contracts via AI analysis and these types of things built into sort of an IDE. And this will be Sonic exclusive. So we're really trying to lean into good UX, not only for users, but also for developers as well. So for the teams on Sonic, that's going to be coming soon. It's currently in the works. It's been in the works for a few months, but I think leveraging AI to build good UX is also one thing that I think is really, really important. But yeah, thanks for your attention, and thank you, 24 from Shadow.
Thank you, guys. You did a good job.